This is Kirk Sinclair, the hiking humanitarian. I'm about to bring you an interview with Marcy Reynolds Bain of the Cooperative Care Center. And I'd like to preface this in the interview. She will mention how giving and supportive Pueblo is for their efforts, and that is something I've heard often as we've been in Pueblo the past couple of days. People here have a really high estimate of their town in terms of humanitarian efforts. So here is Marcy Reynolds Bain talking about the Cooperative Care Center.
The question you asked was about health and homelessness and housing.
What do you do about those issues here?
Okay, our primary mission is to address hunger in the community. That's food insecurity for the citizens of our community, which is around 30,000 people. Right now we're reaching about 25,000 people, providing food to them in the form of groceries. I'm not sure if you know the statistics, but in Colorado we have 900,000 people that struggle to put food on their table, and
nationwide the figure's 51 million.
Big. I know it's big, but in our small community it's around 30,000, and we're addressing probably about 90% of that at this time. There's about 10% out there that either know we don't exist, or for some reason they do not come to the center. We're not sure why, but we're doing some marketing strategies right now to reach that final 10%, so that we are reaching. We serve about 9,000 children from 0 to 19 years old, infants, young adults, and toddlers. With food insecurity also comes problems with development in childhood, with growth. If they're not getting food, but nutritious food, they're not developing well mentally, physically, cognitively. All those issues that children face without having access to nutrition. So we try to deal with that too. We're not only put food out the door, but we're very careful. Mona had mentioned way back before I started working here, there was working at the medical center here.
Yes.
They designed our food sack so that the basic nutrition's there, the beans, the rice, all the food products that they need to grow the children and adults to stay healthy as well. So, we have our program's known as a food sack program.
Sacking hunger.
That's our theme, is sacking hunger. We had John Elway. I don't know if you know John Elway, the famous football.
Yeah.
We had him come out and sack hunger with us a couple years ago, and it really catapulted us to launch out into the community and be embraced by the church partnership that we're in, because we are a faith-based organization, and it really got us started to move in the direction of getting a new building. We have to move because of growth. We have to expand. In the last 5 years, we've gone from helping maybe around 18,000 people to now around 25,000 people a year. And by the end of the year, it'll be about 25,000 people. So that's a huge jump.
And you help them mainly through these food sacks?
Yeah, we're known for our food sack program. We also provide other services such as medical prescription assistance, clothing, personal hygiene, and some transportation. We have 5 programs all built into one. But going back to the issue of growth in our own organization, we attribute that to, and I'm sure everybody does, is the economy. It's driving people to our door. And we're seeing 3 trends right now of growth in certain areas, sectors in the community. The first one is baby boomers. We're probably here, all baby boomers, sitting in this room.
Not me, I'm 29.
No, you're not.
I questioned that. I was wondering. I said 32 in my mind. But these people are like us. The face of hunger or poverty has really changed. We've got poverty in perpetuity. It keeps going, generational. And then we have poverty that's always here, because the scriptures say that the poor will always be among you. So we understand that. But we're seeing a new face coming into the scene right now. Going back to baby boomers, these people look like us. They work all their life. They have tremendous work ethic. They have tremendous pride. Now, you know, if you look at the economy, how it's a domino effect. These people are kind of just flown or catapulted into poverty. Companies are laying off the top because, you know, these baby boomers been there 18, 20 years, not quite ready for retirement. So they've got to do what they can to survive. So they're laying off the top, people that are not retired yet, bring in these young college students for cheaper, you know, cheaper wages. And so these people begin that domino effect. They lost their job. Then they exhaust all their resources, 401ks, whatever they've got. Then they lose their home. Then they find themselves with sicknesses. Then, I mean, all kinds of things. It's a hodgepodge of circumstances. It takes them a long time to hit our door, but when they do, they're desperate. And it's sobbing, sad stories. These people sing the same song. They would rather be working, but nobody wants to hire them. They're overqualified, whatever it is. They're too old or whatever. And so they end up at our doorstep. And it's really sad because, like I said, they're all singing the same song. I'd rather be working than here getting a hand up, but nobody wants to hire me. The other trend that we're facing right now with the change of poverty is senior citizens. These people, first of all, are retired, most of them, you know, but their retirements don't stretch with the years that they're living longer. So they have, and then the rising cost of medical prescriptions, things that Medicaid don't pay for. So they're having to make choices between buying their diabetes or whatever heart problem medication and buying food. So they come here for food. And then a second thing, attachment to senior citizens, is we have a lot of senior citizens raising their grandkids. And you've interviewed them, and the stories that you hear, that, you know, they thought in their golden years that they would be able to maybe even leave the city for a little vacation, or at least never have to strive to put food on their table for themselves. And I attribute a lot of this problem, senior citizens raising grandchildren, to drug problem in this community. Mom and dad drop off the kids to their parents and they go off and do their thing and they never come back. And so these grandparents are really struggling.
Some are in prison, you know, they're even daughters and their mothers are raising. Now we have one client here that is raising 8 grandchildren. She has custody of 8 grandchildren because the mother is in prison and the dad took off. So she's raising these kids. And it is true, they need to make choices as to what's more important. Do I pay the utility bill? Because, as you know, those who are on fixed incomes, the cost of living raise for the last 2-3 years has not gone up, but the price of food and everything else has gone up. So they're living, it's not balanced at all. So they're having to make choices, and we hear that all the time here. I didn't know if I should pay for my medication, pay for my utility bill, or buy food. And I had a senior woman come in that told me, my doctor told me to come in to get food from you because I'm losing a lot of weight because I can't afford to buy food. I'm paying for my medication and my mortgage or utilities. And you could see her face was gaunt looking. And it's really, really sad when you hear these stories, and it really touches your heart, your inner core. Sometimes you need to just disconnect too, because it's really overwhelming. No.
Where does your funding comes from, or how can you sustain this?
The majority of our funding comes from people, individuals. We are an organization of people giving to people. We don't rely. We get no government. We get very little government assistance. About 6% of our budget comes from the government, city, county funds. We don't get any federal or state. But majority comes from people helping people, individual contributions. After that, we have a church partnership because we are a faith-based organization. First United Methodist Church was one of our founders. And so we do get some monies from that avenue. We do a lot of grant writing. And now we're really tapping into corporate America, corporate here locally. We've got big food drives going on. A major sponsor is Black Hills Energy. We've got Excel Energy backing us up right now, the utilities, Board of Waterworks. We're working through that right now, and then some fundraisers that we do. But we're very blessed because we have a very wide variety of funding avenues, which is very healthy, because if you lose one here, at least you can still survive over here. So we're very diverse in our funding, but the majority comes from people helping people, and this community in Pueblo they're giving, very giving. Matter of fact, we were able to, because we have to expand because of growth. I mentioned the new facility, it's 2 blocks down, double the size of this facility, no stairs to deal with, more warehouse to warehouse our food. We were able to buy a facility, raise the money for that, to buy it in 30 days, and raise the rest of it in a few months after that to renovate it. So the total project will be totally raised by this community and some grant writing, that type of thing. So when we move into our new building, we'll hit the ground running because we won't have any debt. It's too hard for nonprofits to survive having a mortgage and that type of thing. So our board of directors, and our president is Rick Calhoun, pastor of the church here. The board said, you know, we'll move forward with this, but we want no debt. And I understand, because why have a nice facility and you can't operate? You can't even put 2 cans of food out the door. Another thing too, along the lines of what your question was, we survive on in-kind. We raise about $325,000 in-kind a year, and that's tremendous, because you know that's what we have to buy anyway. So it's really a very giving community that has embraced this organization. They want to see us succeed, and so through various avenues, that's how we are. We're riding that storm, the economic storm everybody else is, but we're sailing pretty good. And I think that's because of the givers and shakers in this community that value our service and the impact that we have. I wanted to mention too, the 3 trends that we were seeing. I mentioned 2, the baby boomers, the senior citizens. Right. The third one is one of my favorites. It's fathers stepping up to the plate and being heroes to their kids. That stigma of deadbeat dads is changing in this community. I don't know about everywhere else, but we have a lot of fathers that come in scared to death with through a divorce, because we're right across the street from the judicial building where divorce is happening. Yeah. And so they walk across the street, they're in the process of losing their job, or they lost their job, and they come in here scared to death. Like, what am I going to do? And you know, women were very compartmentalized. We know every resource in this community. Guys are one box, and they're just got to get a job, and they don't really understand how the system works and where they can go for help. So we have a program called Dads Are Heroes, try to help our dads stay with their kids, raise those kids, and be successful with them. So we're really seeing the stigma change, and it's sad for the women's side because now they're off on drugs, and I'm just making a generalized statement. Mm-hmm. And dads are saying, you know what, I can do this. I can raise my kids. I can step up to the plate. So they need a lot of help, and so that's one of, you know, it's sad on the other end, but I brag about our dads because they are stepping up to the plate and being heroes to their kids. So that's another trend we're seeing, lots of dads stepping up to the plate. But anyway, that's it.
Thank you very much, Marcy from the Cooperative Care Center in Mona. Thank you very much.
Sure, you're so welcome.
This is Kirk Sinclair, the Hiking Humanitarian.